Thank you, David. Thank you, the two Davids. Yes, some really incredibly dizzying numbers coming out of China at the moment. Look, we know that China's big. I've been here for 20 years, and everyone talks about China being 1.4 billion people, but we said it yesterday, and we'll say it all through today. It's the biggest story of the year, of the decade maybe, that China sports industry is genuinely coming of age. We'll show the headlines again a little bit later, but there is so much hot money in China and coming out of China for rights, for teams, sponsorship, events. It's really quite exciting. So when I first spoke to Hang a few months ago and invited him to Sports Matters, at first, you won't mind me saying, he was very nervous of the idea, because as anyone who goes to events knows, it's quite hard to get people from China to talk about China. But when we talked about the fact that this session is more about China coming of age than what's happened in the last 20 years, it's now what's happening in the next 20 years, I'm delighted to say that Hang accepted the invitation. So the next 80 minutes with Hang and then with an awesome panel are really going to be looking at what's going on in China, who's who, who's doing what in China, in some cases who's doing who in China, but hopefully we can walk away with a kind of a little bit more how-to knowledge of how to work in China, because up until now it's been incredibly hard. Maybe it's still incredibly hard, but there are certainly a few more keys out there to unlock a few more doors to succeed, and the panel after this session is going to be how to unlock some of those doors. Remember yesterday, if you saw the Tencent presentation, Sam's presentation, there was one quote that came out of it where he said, China is morphing into a sports country. So with that, I'm delighted, I'm going to sit down now, but I'm absolutely thrilled and delighted that Hang has joined us. He's the Vice President of International for LeTV. If you don't know anything about LeTV, Hang, it's an incredible company, right? Can you just give us, assume we've just got off a plane from Mars and we don't know who LeTV are. Can you give us a quick background into the company?
Sure. First, thank Jasper. I'm delighted to be here to introduce more about our business model. To be honest, I'm in this market over 15 years. It's also for me very interesting to see what happened within basically the last 8 months. It's incredibly changed the way that the sports business in China, which we feel very exciting to be part of this regime, which represents a model that is totally different compared to the traditional way. LeTV Sports, people feel hard to pronounce either LeTV or LeTV. The LeTV group basically is the mother company of the sports company. Their business model has been quite new. It's basically selling the high quality hardware with cheap price, and beyond that, selling the service under a subscription basis. So if we talk about the whole group under that model, we see the sports company will follow that model. But currently we do all the content for free, but in the future it's definitely a pay model under the same basis. So back to the LeTV Sports. The LeTV Sports company formed early 2014, as before is part of the sports channel of LeTV.com. When we founded, I think our main target is our intention is to make everybody in China, the sports fans, easy to participate into sport. No matter you want consume the sports content, no matter you want to participate a sport event, or you want to find sports related hardware, or you want to do anything on the value added service regarding to sports, you can find a platform. So this is the initial idea of the founder who formed LeTV Sports. So basically, we have 4 main business lines, which is event management. On that part, we work with this year with Patrick Murphy, who will be in our panel later. We work with Relevant and Catalyst, hosting the International Champions Cup in China for 3 games. We invite Real Madrid, Inter, and AC Milan in China to play 3 games this summer. For next year, we're going to work with the WRC and also China Rally Association to host another WRC event in China. And also aiming to seeking more opportunity hosting events or creating event IP in China. This is the event management part. On the content business, we make some impressive deal on the media scope. We basically have over 200 events. We carry on live games, over 10,000 live games within this year. I think this is an incredible achievement that never been done by any Chinese broadcaster before. On the hardware part, we can talk about that part later. We launched some new product, which is some philosophy behind that. But old philosophy, back to the point, is we want to make the sports fans in China to participate in events. Even only when we increase the number of the sports population in the industry side, we can then find a successful model to be successful.
So you mentioned 10,000 live games. What kind of sports are you broadcasting?
We broadcast all kinds of sports from, most people here are partners, from football, basketball, that's big events. The big events from Champions League, Premier League, to some very niche football league like Swedish League, Ukraine League, Belgium League, to other sports like cycling, marathon, equestrian, sailing, whatever. We got over 20 categories, X game, everything. Basically, we covered whatever we can.
So you've got the broadcast, you've got the products that we're going to talk about.
Yes.
Because I'm really excited about those. And apparel as well? Are you getting into apparel?
Sorry?
Apparel, so sportswear?
The sportswear, yes. We won't go into that part quite rush. But we have the plan. We have a plan, like some smart shoes. I work with partners, watches, twist band on the product side. So this is the content business and the product business, the smart hardware business. Then it goes to the value-added service. This is the last division we're working on. This is the some online to offline training program we provide. Most interesting things, we're going to launch some smart stadium solution, working with some outstanding company globally in China, specifically focusing on some outstanding venues in big cities to provide the smart solution for the stadium, together with all the 3 chains in the industry.
Tell us more about the stadium thing, because we haven't really touched on, we've talked a lot about live sports yesterday, but we haven't really touched on the stadium and fan experience. What are you doing there?
We found that the venues here, even in Beijing and Shanghai, still treated or operating under the traditional method. So even if you want to surfing internet inside the stadium becomes very difficult because so many people there in the stadium. So by providing those solutions, we can easily integrate ticketing, your beverage, your hospitality, the commercial plan with the shops around the stadium, your parking plan, this kind of stuff together integrate into one technology solution together with the venue to provide a better experience for the fans who has a regular or specific needs to be solved, targeting on different events. No matter is sports event or is a live concert or what kind of event, easy for them to get used to those kind of new stuff compared to traditional.
So you're in stadiums, you're online, you've got equipment that you're producing, so it's a true end-to-end sports company. Who's your competition?
Well, we have some, we didn't see quite kind of benchmark companies in China or even globally. We didn't see those kind of sports companies. We targeting ourselves as a global sports firm running not only media business. This is our intention. So we have competitor in different areas, but in general we see the company so unique.
You just mentioned global.
Right.
Something that's happened in the last few months, let alone just this year, is the headlines are talking about a lot of things happening with Chinese money coming out of China, so whether it's sponsorship and stuff. But then we saw last week in the South China Morning Post that you are rumored to have spent $400 million on acquiring the Premier League. Are you able to talk about that?
Well, the rumor is a rumor. I have no official comment on that part. However, there will be a press conference on 22nd of September in Hong Kong. So if somebody here wants to attend that press conference, we'll know what happened there.
And you might be talking about football. You don't know. Okay.
I can't go further. Sorry for that.
Okay, so just while we're on the rumor mill, there are rumors that you've invested in a large sports marketing organization that might be based in Paris with a big office in Singapore.
We make the conversation difficult, May. I think we are investing, right? We are investing out of China, looking for properties, companies, events, and opportunities. This is our global view. We have different strategy into different markets. In Hong Kong, we go into content business. We ran the same model as what we ran in China, which is hardware plus subscription. And Hong Kong is a mature market with very established commercial model. So it's very easy to fit into that model with a suitable content. Also, we're going to aiming to certain, we go into certain Southeast Asian countries, including India. India is always a key market for the group. We're looking for opportunities doing business and suitable partners together in India. In parallel, our international expansion in a sense in US is something different. The sports company, we ran a small office there at Silicon Valley. I think that the main business there is our smart hardware business. We may invent, design, and commercialize or marketing or looking for investment opportunities for that early-aged company who is focusing on technology, focusing on changing the traditional way of broadcasting. So we're looking also for investing into that early-aged company in US. So in US we're not going into the content business by far. So it seems quite different compared to what we did in Asia.
So, I mean, this is really exciting, right? So in the past, people would have a China strategy, which was how do I get into China? Now you need a two-pronged China strategy, which is A, how do I get into China, but B, how do I work with China coming into my market? And that's really exciting because that I think is a first for anyone worldwide, and that's just really happened in the last, well, someone said 8 months, I'd say in the last 8 weeks.
Sure.
The second thing I'm getting out of this is that for LeTV, and probably everyone else on the panel, all the other platforms that are on the panel in a while, that America is an emerging market.
I can't say that. I mean, Americans always important for us in a way, in the economy scope. It is a mature market. We can't do something quite revolutionary. We'll see. We will learn and we will see what exactly will happen there.
It sounds like you are doing something revolutionary. I mean, you've got broadcast.
We try to create something totally different. It's also on the road. It's also on the road. No one knows, or no one can tell you, or no one can tell us what exactly happened 1 year later in China. No one can tell you that. Our investors like Wanda Group and Alibaba Group, they are also doing strategic layout outside China. So basically, it's the same philosophy behind that.
Great partners to have. We've got a couple of minutes. I just want to show everyone, we were talking about some of the products that they're producing, and they're really, really exciting, especially if you have a wife in the room and Christmas is coming up in just a few months' time. Ed, can we see the smart bike, please? Do you want to talk a little bit about what this is?
The smart bike is we launched last month. It began for sale on all the online platform already. The intention behind the smart bike is we see cycling will be next booming sport in China after jogging and running. There were many riders, people who like to run, to ride. The intention behind the smart bike is we try to connect people. The bike can be connected between each other. The riders also can be connected with the bike and with another rider. So it's more or less a social tour rather than a pure bicycle. That's what we think, to connect everything together in sports.
Are they available in Hong Kong?
Not yet.
By Christmas?
Not yet, but will be in US by Christmas.
Now, the next picture we're going to show, we have to ask everyone here to be very polite and respect this. This hasn't been seen before. Please do not take a picture of this. But the next thing is, and he's very nervous about this being here, but the next thing is the LeTV drone, and this is something I definitely want for Christmas.
The LeTV drone, yes. We had a very good conversation with a company in US called Lily Camera, which is doing not the same thing, but the same stuff. The drone manufactured by us with many perspective of cameras. So basically with this drone, the users can generate content. Those content can use on our own platform. It's a UGC platform. So we integrate those content, no matter what kind of stuff you're using, either our own brand drone or other kinds of cameras, sports cameras, you can all upload to our UGC platform. This is the purpose, that they run and integrate everything from the top is the event. We will try to use the drone into some football event or basketball event in the future.
Or sports conferences.
Or sports conferences. Well, let's try.
Speaking of which, just as we wrap, 2 questions. Number 1, Le Sports Matters?
Next year in Beijing, we'll try.
Ed, we need to change the logo before the end of the day. Okay, second question. Look, it's really exciting. The story is amazing. I mean, you're in the 3 or 4 different areas. you're coming south of the border and heading to the States, and you mentioned India as well as a major new market.
Yes.
Is it really sustainable? And I'm going to be asking the same question to everyone else on the panel later. Is this really sustainable?
It's definitely sustainable. Otherwise, you can't to keep going like this. So we take a very aggressive way of making business. But as I mentioned to Bloomberg in the interview last month, is we don't want to be that aggressive, but the aggressive is the only way that we can survive in the competition, in the competitive environment like China now.
It's fantastic. Well, look, you're going to stay with us. Please give a big round of applause for Hang.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Now you're going to